So, like, there's clearly, like, a lot of collaboration going on now between the Mushroom Kingdom and the stars. They've got... The Mushroom Kingdom is now tasked with raising their young. So, that's a bit weird. So Mario rescues all the Star Spirits. He goes to Bowser's Castle. He uses the Star Spirits and the power of wishes to overcome Bowser's and the Star Rod. He recovers the Star Rod, and the Star Spirits take it far away, where nobody will ever be able to get to it again. Then Peach's castle is gently dropped from the heavens and just set right back where it was, undamaged. They have another big party, and Mario's companions all leave to go on their own adventures and new lives, and Bowser's castle exploded. And he was launched off into space again. After all of that, and after this big party and parade that they have celebrating their victory over Bowser, and the recovery of the concept of wishes, because the Toads were, throughout this whole adventure, the Toads were extremely distraught over the fact that they could no longer have all their wishes granted immediately, which really shows how society is developing there with their access to star magic. They're becoming both complacent and demanding, that now not having their every wish granted instantly is a cause of severe distress for them that they cannot handle. So things are going a bit bad in the Mushroom Kingdom. But after all of that, they decide that the princess and Mario and the friends decide to have a small party. Another small, just gathering of friends, and they're all just kind of hanging out by the castle, not doing a whole lot. And this is actually a different castle. This looks to be the castle that had previously burnt down, that I guess they just rebuilt with star magic? Maybe? Or otherwise just reconstructed another identical castle in the exact same spot. But they're hanging out there. It's far and secluded away from the Toads. And suddenly a glimmering silver star crashes down in the middle of their relaxation. They identify this as the Millennium Star, a legendary star that comes around once every 1,000 years, and it said whoever owns it is destined to become the superstar of the universe, whatever that's supposed to mean. Now, as always, whenever the concept of superstar comes up, everybody in this group starts fighting like children over who is the superstar. And so they're all fighting amongst each other over who should have the right to own this Millennium Star to become the superstar of the universe. And while they're fighting, a suspiciously helpful Lakitu comes by carrying a toy box, and out from the toy box, they produce the board game Mario Party, suggesting that they play it to determine who gets to own the star. So this board game, which presumably was set up as a trap by Bowser, that gave this Lakitu this toy box and sent him off to say, like, oh, the next time something happens that I might want to be involved with, distract everyone with this stupid board game that I made. And that's why there's now a board game of Mario Party in here. But as they're about to start playing the game, when suddenly they all get transported into the toy box by the star, who, you know, is a sentient star, is a star spirit, and forces them to compete as game pieces in the board game to fill up a stamp card to earn the right to own him.
It's very unusual.
So they all start competing in this board game because that's all they have available to do, and they all want to own this star. And while they're doing that, three things happen. Number one of Bowser's cohorts, those little baby Bowsers that he made the last time he stole stars from their party, he was spying on them and reports to Bowser about the Millennium Star. And so Bowser comes by and he enters the toy box, He is at this point, he's not really fully recovered from the previous adventures, and having, maybe there's withdrawal from having used the Star Rod, maybe it's just the fact that his castle exploded, and no, it's probably just some kind of weird mystic withdrawal due to the Star Rod, because otherwise he would have, the Koopa Kingdom's magic could just help him recover. But, he's not doing too well. And he gets hopelessly lost trying to find everyone and get involved with this competition. Number 2, Princess Daisy arrives late to the party. Presumably she'd been invited, but she didn't make it on time. But she gets there, she finds her way into the toy box, and seduces the Millennium Star into letting her join the competition near the end. And Bowser shows up and confronts them at this point, and Daisy just kind of launches him into space. Again, he's not at his best right now.
It's also within this weird toy world.
Yeah, maybe there's also some kind of weird effects going on with this toy box magic thing of the star affecting him. The third thing, Waluigi, who was not invited to the party, was also spying on them. And he saw the Millennium Star, and he saw everyone get shot into the toy box, so he sneaks into the toy box afterwards, but he doesn't go and try to join the competition right away. He goes off to one of the game boards that they're not competing on right now, and takes it over with pure charisma. Like, he convinces the piranha plants that operate that board to just be his minions, and they dismantle and rebuild the board with all his iconography and his traps and such, and then he steals one of the star stamps, which, the stamps to fill up the stamp card, and uses that to force his way into the competition. And then Bowser shows up again. He returns for one more shot at getting into this competition, and Waluigi just beats the shit out of him. Just straight up beats him down. So, Waluigi is actively trying to, take the spot as prime antagonist of the series at this point. He's just trying to be the big bad guy. And this is what I was saying before, that Waluigi is clearly willing to backstab Wario if there's a big enough prize on the line. Because, this Millennium Star shows up, and he is just willing to fight everybody else over this with subterfuge and skullduggery. So, he forces his way into the competition, but he ends up losing, and he does not win the star. So then there is one final battle with the Millennium Star, and, I'm being vague about who's actually doing this because you play as all the characters getting through and winning the game and beating the Millennium Star. But whoever it is doesn't really matter, because he finally at the end reveals himself to be a fraud and runs off to space. He was not actually the Millennium Star. The real Millennium Star was there, hiding inside the sentient dice block from the board game that was brought to life as part of this whole thing. And he just declares somebody to be the superstar of the universe, but then just teleports everyone out of the toy box and fucks off to space. That's the whole adventure. Nothing of any import actually happened. So, I guess they finished their party, they finished relaxing, and they're back to the normal, the day-to-day, which, in this case, is more propaganda. Peach is stepping up her propaganda efforts, switching to a focus on healthcare. Previous propaganda efforts was all about Bowser is bad, and we're good, we have the power of the stars, and we can use that to beat Bowser and stop him from hurting you, and that's why you should move to the Mushroom Kingdom. And now, they decide to bring out the old Dr. Mario commercial persona to make some ad spots for Mega Vitamins, a magically created panacea that they have. To be like, hey, come to the Mushroom Kingdom, we have Mega Vitamins! And, they trick Wario into helping with this advertising campaign by, like, filming a bunch of throwaway scenes that make him look good, that he thinks was the actual commercial or whatever the hell he thought he was doing.